I wanted them to understand that I wasn't happy. So what came to mind was what came out. I'm just like, I feel like they might get a kick out of how we got a camper. Like, we've been best friends since fourth grade. And this was not brought and donated to Hope Village. This was brought and donated to Ryan, Kristin, and Allie. We didn't have any idea this was going on YouTube or whatnot. I was never a drug addict. It was more hope that was offered to us. All of a sudden, hey, let me slap you with life. Right. And I look at us as survivors because I don't know a whole lot of people that the 2 years that Kristin and I were homeless, we went through it. Like,
we moved 12 times last year. 12.
Yeah. 12 times. It's not easy to move when you don't have a U-Haul, when you don't have a vehicle, and you have dogs. I have 5 dogs right now.
We only had 3 at a time.
We had 3 when we lived at Hope Village.
Wow.
Plus Cujo and Coco, which were April's dogs, but we personally had 3. Well, we now have 5. One of them's over here, but she's antisocial. And but it's not easy to move when you have animals.
No.
When you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And when you don't have the means to move. I can't account for all the stuff that we've lost.
Right.
Like all the stuff that we've had to leave behind here or there, or the stuff that's been stolen while it was here or there.
I mean, we're living out of a laundry basket. Me and Ryan are. Our daughter has everything she could possibly want or need, and then some. But me and him are living out of a laundry basket.
Yeah, like that's all of our clothes because of all of the stuff that has been taken or damaged or lost or left. It's just, and we're making it back. We're getting everything back. It's slow going, but it doesn't. It's nothing's instant, and we've learned that. Oh, there's people going downstairs.
Yeah, I know that's all here. It was a damn ID.
Yeah.
Like he was like,
that's it.
Like the one little thing that he, which
still gonna try and
he's gonna try to do that. But it's like they tell you within a week you'll have this, like rides to this and that.
Do you know which ID it is that he's trying to get? Is it just a driver's license or?
I believe
just the state ID. I guess.
He doesn't have.
He doesn't even want a driver's license, just the ID that the state gives you.
I think so.
Yeah, just make it work.
He doesn't have his social card though. He doesn't have his birth certificate. He doesn't have any of his.
He don't have nothing to prove who he is.
At all.
When you file for food stamps, you have to have an ID.
Yeah.
And if they have food stamps, then his ID is on file, and they can print off a copy of his license. And a paper copy of your license, regardless of whether it's plastic or not, is a physical copy of your license. It is a physical.
All you'd have to do is renew that.
Physical ID.
Wow.
She printed me off a license, and I asked her if that would if I got pulled over, will this count as a license? And she said, it's a physical copy.
I would use my paper one to pick up a prescription. So yeah.
That's all that you need.
I mean, I've used like a picture of my license on my phone as my license in gas stations.
Were you like when they said like you're gonna get this thing in like a week, and obviously it took longer than that? Like along the way, were they there much to like tell you, okay, that's coming?
Well,
like
they would show up, and they would always make an appearance, if not daily. They would make an appearance at least the very next day. If they weren't there for a whole day, they were showing their face that next day because the volunteers that came, whenever people tell you that they didn't want us talking to volunteers, a lady came from Georgia that we just got back in contact with through somebody that had come to Hope Village to help me with my back because I'm appreciative now because the sciatic problem isn't necessarily gone, but it's gone away a lot. But there was times where I had to get out of bed in downward dog.
Wow.
Like I had to get out
How
of
do you
bed
have that?
backwards and
Yeah.
upside down. And well,
It's horrible.
one of the volunteers was a massage therapist, and she came up there to help with her like pregnancy pains and to help me with my back. And well, I talk. I mean, her name's Susan, but I don't know if she would be appreciative of me telling anyone that, but
That's all right.
she was and still is an absolute blessing
Big time.
because I talked to her for 2.5, 3 hours. Just me and her. We sat over in the little picnic area, and we have a lot of the same like ideals when it comes to like spirituality and stuff. Neither one of us are religious. Yes, she's religious. Me and Susan, though, we had a lot of the same ideals on spirituality. So me and her clicked immediately, and we sat there and talked for hours. But she came back the next day and the next day, and she had kind of started making regular appearances. Well, this woman from Georgia came to Hope Village one day
She drove 10 hours.
specifically to meet Kristin and I. She got there. She didn't look for Ronnie and Debbie. She got there and she asked someone where the pregnant girl was. Kristin was the only pregnant girl there. So I was told that they were looking for Kristin. Well, all right. Well, I'm me. I'm going to go figure out who you are and why you're looking for her.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went over there and I introduced myself as Kristin's husband, and me and her started talking, and she had brought bukus of supplies, baby bath, crib, a bassinet, all everything somebody expecting a child could pretty much want or need. And while me, Chris, and I think it was Magic, it was the three of us and this little old lady, were unloading a box truck. Like she had supplies for the whole camp, but she had specific stuff that she had brought there for us. For Allie, yeah. I mean, I can't fit in a bassinet, so for Allie.
There, it's pretty obvious, you know.
Like when she told me that, she said, I drove 10 hours because I saw y'all online and I've been in y'all's situation. I know how it feels. It meant a lot. And for people to do that, it gives me hope. I mean, because my outlook on people in general, people fucking suck.
Oh, absolutely.
Usually that's the case.
Like, not everyone, but
a majority.
I go into a situation with the mindset of you're probably gonna suck. Let me feel you out.
Right.
And once my opinion's changed, people are good, but until then, people fucking suck.
Yeah.
And well, Ronnie and Debbie, I guess they heard commotion, us out there moving stuff and like putting stuff up. They came out and they're like, what are y'all doing? We're helping. This is 110-pound old lady trying to move boxes out of a box truck. Like, so the three dudes there that were always up at the crack of dawn, always working, doing something for the people there. We didn't have to do none of that. We did that because it was for us. It helped the people we lived with it. And they came out pretty much bitching at us because we were talking to that volunteer.
No.
And, I mean, I was still in the mindset of maybe maybe that's just the way they are. I kind of tried to write it off
Right.
because the tent was still a blessing, and it wasn't something that I was ready to lose. I guess I'd moved enough,
Oh,
and
yeah, for sure.
I was tired.
Yeah.
I am tired of moving. Like
Yeah.
I was tired of uprooting the family I have and having to do it all over again. So I didn't necessarily bend to their will, but I would, I guess, and no, I wouldn't even try to make them happy. I wouldn't call it that.
You
I
know
would,
what you had to do to keep all of us.
yeah, I did what I had to do, or what how do you pronounce the word placate?
Placate. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much the whole means to an end for me.
Right.
I wouldn't go out of my way to put a smile on their face because I'm not their bitch, but I wasn't going to go out of my way to piss them off either unless provoked.
Yeah.
And the woman from Georgia had told me, she said, look, I have a whole, just like Ronnie and Debbie did, she had an Amazon list where people had donated stuff for her to bring to us.
Oh.
Like she had a whole Amazon list of stuff specifically for me, Kristin, and Allie. And we never saw this woman again. And we were told that the bassinet and the baby bath and all this stuff needed to be put in storage. Why? Right. It's not yours. This was not brought and donated to Hope Village. This was brought and donated to Ryan, Kristin, and Allie.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, if it's donated to me, why do I need to put it in your house or your storage building? Why do I need you to put a lock on my stuff?
Right.
I can keep my stuff safe, and I'm comfortable doing that. No, y'all need to put it in here. Look, so that goes, and then they started directing.
Yeah.
I don't like being directed. I said that once. Like,
it's like suggesting it is fine, but demanding it is another thing.
Yeah, they started directing where stuff needed to go.
Huh.
I told the lady from Georgia, I said, look, it was wonderful meeting you. I appreciate what you're doing and what you've done.
But they're not gonna let us keep it.
But I told her I'm not going to be talked to like that. And I told Ronnie and Debbie, I said, I'll holler at you. I'm going to cut wood. So that's what I did. I went and took out my aggression and my anger on splitting wood. I wanted to keep us warm still. So
and they got mad at the woman because she confronted them and said, I didn't bring that for the village. I brought that for
the lady told Ronnie and Debbie straight up, that's not for y'all. I didn't bring that for the village. I brought that because they are going to need it.
Yeah.
And the day that we left, I went straight to Ronnie and Debbie and I said, look, I need my stuff out of storage. I need the baby stuff. I need the baby bath. I need the bassinet. I need the crib. I want all of it. Like, that was not brought for you. Y'all don't have a baby on the way, nor do you have a child that can fit in there.
Yeah.
I want the stuff that was donated and given to us because it's only right.
Yeah.
No it's right, and it's not given to you.
Right.
And like, taking from me, cool. That was me paying someone not to fuck with me, is how I see it. If you steal from me, you literally just bought unfriendship.
Right.
To take from my kid, and you've got life fucked up if you think I'm gonna sit back and take it. Absolutely not. Like, she 100% has changed me, and some of the smallest of ways, and some
the biggest of ways,
a lot larger. But I couldn't sit back and you're not going to sit there and tell me I can't have something that was given to my daughter.
Right.
So they told you ain't getting it. Basically,
the only thing that we managed to get was the baby bath. And that was because I took it straight to our tent whenever it was given to me.
Oh,
That was the only thing that I got to our tent. Nothing. We got nothing from there.
We didn't get any of the baby clothes, the baby bottles. She had a whole big tote that her church put together for us, for Allie. Even had handmade outfits from the old ladies of her church, specifically for Allie. And we didn't get none of it. Well, whenever Susan had sent the video, y'all's first video y'all had done to
it was the 2-hour video. Yes, she sent it to us. She's the one that saw this. She's the one that had found y'all or saw y'all online.
The long one.
And she showed us. Like we didn't have any idea this was going on YouTube or whatnot. Only reason I get on YouTube is to listen to music.
Yeah,
And
that's what it should be.
I was unaware of this whole situation, and Susan had sent Kristin the video or the link to it, and she told me about it. Well, I immediately got on there. I was at work. I got on there and I told my boss, I was like, look, I'm going to be busy for 2 hours. He said, no, you're not. I said, no, dude, look, I'm about to watch this video. And I explained to him what it was about. And he sat there and watched it with me.
Oh,
yeah. Look, well, I do flooring. So, I mean, we kind of work on our own schedule, I guess.
Right.
We do what we want. But I told him what it was, and I explained the whole situation, and he's like, well, come on, let's watch it. We're wasting time. So we sat there and watched it all the way through, and that same day, that was whenever I had messaged or commented on it, because I saw us pop up in the video, and I'm like, hey, that's us. And then I heard people, they weren't necessarily saying our names, except for Barry. Barry had said Ryan and Kristin.
Yeah.
But except for them, I didn't hear anybody really name drop for us or tell
anything
really much of our story. And I'm just like, I feel like they might get a kick out of how we got a camper.
Well, we heard it from several.
Chris had told us.
Yeah,
and,
but we just, we didn't put that in there.
We have full length interviews with everybody, and we just took
on the Patron app or Patreon app.
Yeah, well, I haven't put them up yet. I haven't put the full length up yet.
Full length interviews with the other people up as we go here.
Yeah, I'm just behind on doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I just put the parts that we needed in those parts that would make the most sense, But yeah, he did actually talk about you guys, I think, quite a bit.
Yeah, we had all good things.
Chris did, I think. Yeah.
I heard your story a few times, and then I had seen you in the video, and I was like, oh my goodness, she's pregnant.
Barry said, he said to lick my balls or something, though.
Oh, look. So whenever I walked off, verbatim, I told him to eat my ass, lick my balls, and suck my dick. I was not happy, and I wanted them to understand. I wanted them to understand that I wasn't happy. So what came to mind was what came out.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that control stuff is just it ain't right.
No, we wanted to talk to
you. Did you know
we were making it, but we just couldn't get a hold of everybody.
Oh God, there's so many
people reaching out to us. We just let them reach out and didn't.
Well, our whole group that we keep up there, I can speak for everybody. Everybody is doing well.
That's great.
That is good.
It is great.
None of the people that were in that video that were put off as drug addicts or whatever they were.
Yeah.
None of them are out here in active addiction right now.
Yeah.
That's what
none of us.
We've spent time
None
with
of us are out here in active addiction.
They're awesome people, I try to make contacts, and I'm like, to have.
That's what we just told the TV lady.
Makes me want to puke because
I said everybody that we talked to and interviewed 20 people, and not a single one of them is an active drug addict, and they've all been painted as that. And she actually said, "Yeah, I've been hearing that."
We both have a past.
Yeah, we've heard that through everybody. We've heard that from people that we don't even freaking talk to.
Right.
People that I've either her or I have written off as somebody that we don't want around our daughter, or somebody that I just don't want to be around in general.
Mhm.
We've heard that from them. They've contacted us and said that, oh, I thought you were clean. Fuck, what do you mean you thought I was clean? Like,
yeah. And we were told that we were tweakers by some dude that we don't even know.
It's funny too, because it's like where we're from,
that wasn't
meth
the,
isn't a
that
thing.
wasn't the drug. No,
We're from Detroit.
I'm 9 years clean, and he's
no, that's definitely not a big thing up there. Detroit.
yeah.
And I was a drunk.
Yeah.
So
Like, we know what addiction's like, and I know what it's like to have
I'm
that
a
drug
former
habit.
alcoholic. Like I quit drinking when she was going through her fentanyl withdrawals. I was going through alcohol. I was going through DTs for alcohol.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, dude, it's
I was
horrible.
working a full-time job. I was working full-time job. I was on third shift, and I was up all day with her because she was always sick. Like she was going through an awful time in her life. So I mean, both of us were going through withdrawals at the same time. I mean, off of different things, but both of us were able to put that behind us.
That's
Yeah.
I picked up meth as a hobby, like, and it never became an addiction for me. It was just, it gave me more time to get stuff done, is how I looked at it, because I didn't ever sleep. I could work all day and not be tired, and that was my way of, in a sense, justifying using. But
Yeah, you were one of those that
looking
could
back,
put it down. Like,
I could stay up for, I think the longest I stayed up without the aid of drugs was 8 days. And
that shit's dangerous on your brain.
see,
On my sanity.
Oh, I bet. Yep, I've been there.
but I'm, and a lot of people that have seen me in active addiction, they'll tell you this, and I have no problem telling someone I'm the same person whether I'm up for 10 days on dope or I'm without dope for a month. I'm the same person. I don't get in that tweaker hole. I don't get in that mind state because I don't know. I personally, because I'm left-handed, I'm always right. But I mean, in reality, I understand that that's not the case, but I'm a very strong-minded person.
Yeah.
If I think I can, I'm going to.
Mhm.
Or if I think I can, I won't stop until I do.
Yeah.
And drugs were just, they were like I said, they were a hobby to me.
Yeah.
And to be painted as a dope head or somebody that's twacked out of their mind and can't support my family.
Yeah.
I was homeless for 2 years and we never went without food.
Right.
Whether we were sleeping in a tent or crashing on someone's couch, I made sure we were sleeping somewhere that either she felt safe or I was comfortable myself knowing that I could keep us safe.
Yeah.
Right.
And most people that are in active addiction, they don't give a shit whether they're sleeping on the floor or whether they're sleeping on the roof. They're worried about that next fix.
Right.
The next fix for me was after all my chores in a sense were done. Once everyone was fed, once everything was done, then I could go play. Is kind of how I saw it, and it was never a priority. And to be painted as someone that's a drug addict is someone that puts drugs before everything.
Yeah, put drugs first. That's the definition of it.
That was,
I was, at one point in my life, I was 100% an alcoholic. Alcohol was the end all be all and the greatest thing in the world. I was a pothead, but I was never a drug addict. Like,
yeah,
And to be painted as a drug addict, especially my family, obviously one of them's a freaking sheriff.
Right.
Like, my family is not, they're not aware in the aspect of how drugs, they know how drugs can affect someone, but they don't know the power or hold that drugs have on a person.
Yeah.
Right.
And unless you've stuck a needle in your arm, you can't tell me you know how it feels.
Exactly.
And I've told a lot of people that, oh, I've done drugs plenty of times. Most people that use a needle, they're not addicted to the drug. They're addicted to the needle. I can't say I got necessarily addicted to the needle, but I understood that mentality 100%, because just that part alone was almost the biggest thrill of doing the drug. I didn't, and I still don't like being portrayed as a junkie or an addict or all these things. Like, these two right here, they come before anything. And before we had Allie, Kristin, she came before anything. And to be put off as a drug addict, I don't know, it's a slap in the face for me.
Yeah.
Did you even know that like they were that like John was making these videos and bringing all this money in based on your stories and all that stuff? Like, did you even know that was going on?
Well, I knew that John had made the video, and I watched some of the video and everything, and I was shocked at how many views it had in 11 hours. 11 hours we hit over 10,000 views, and I'm just like, holy shit. Our stories being heard, we may actually be able to get out of this hole that we've been stuck in. And once again, it was more hope that was offered to us.
Yeah.
And
Dopamine.
I looked at it as a good thing, but at the same time, I saw it as this could potentially be bad for us as well, because it could bring backlash on the people that are associated with us, my family. Like, it could bring blowback on Aaron. And as much as me and Aaron don't get along, he's family, and I love my family to death, and I'd do anything for them, but we're not on an everyday talking basis. But I don't want my background, my story, my drug history, I don't want that to fall on anyone in the family, anyone in her family, because her mother's a preacher.
And I stepped away from my addiction. I was in my addiction.
Her mother is a preacher and has been a preacher for almost,
my whole life.
Yeah. I mean, as long as I've known her, we've known each other 20 years. Well, 20 years before we started dating. Like, we've been best friends since 4th grade. And
that's cool.
I love that.
Super cool. Mike and his girlfriend, man.
We grew up together, and our graduating class, I was just talking to my mom about it. Our graduating class, I want to say over 10% of our graduating class is dead or incarcerated.
Yeah, mine too.
Out of a class of 200, and I'd say 250 at the high end. I'm not sure what the exact number was. There's 180 of us left.
Yeah.
And it's fentanyl. It's bad decisions with alcohol, or it's just bad decisions in life. And for only 180 people out of 250 to be alive or even able to do what I'm doing right now and talking to someone on a phone that doesn't say you have 1 minute remaining.
Right.
It's awful. Like, it.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Most of my people.
But that right there, they were the hope that was given to us that says we're not going to be counted in that percentage. We're not going to be part of that statistic.
Yeah.
And did it go the way that I thought it was going to go? No. But there is one thing I can say about the two of us, and now the three of us, we'll figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna make it, and I refuse to let anyone stand in my way of it. I'm just
so happy to see you guys doing good. And
Allie deserves life outside of a tent, and I refuse to put her in a tent. That's unless we're going camping.
Like regardless of how they try to control you or put you down or any of that kind of stuff, y'all are gonna make it, do your thing regardless.